Nasty, nasty. If y'all don't know who Scott Agnes is, he's a guy he's very close to the team.
This is really, really disappointing, and it's really concerning in my opinion.
Indiana Fever reporter Scott Agnes has decided that now would be the time.
Imagine Scott Agnes criticizing South Carolina and Asia Wilson fans for going after Kaitlyn Clark during her rookie season. Imagine the backlash.
Man, this is very sad, very disappointing. It's disgusting that Kaitlyn Clark has to be subjected to this nonsense.
You ever get so rattled by fans clapping that you drop a 1,000-word rant like you're trying out for Darth Vader's PR staff? Because that's exactly what just happened in Indiana. A local Fever reporter just hit send on what might be the most unhinged anti-fandom meltdown of the year, and somehow decided that Kaitlyn Clark's supporters are, wait for it, the villains. Yep, literal Sith Lords.
In an article, he put something in there, and I don't know if he thought it was going to be a side note to his article, but you cannot call Kaitlyn Clark fans the dark side of the fandom. No, that wasn't the greatest or smartest idea in the world.
Because obviously, foam fingers and standing ovations are now a threat to democracy. Welcome to Journalists Gone Wild, WNBA edition, where the takes are nuclear, the logic is missing, and apparently, cheering is a crime. Let's get into it.
If you call a spade, you'll get labeled all types of names. Imagine Scott Agnes criticizing South Carolina and Asia Wilson fans for going after Kaitlyn Clark during her rookie season. Imagine the backlash.
So here's the setup. Kaitlyn Clark, the one-woman ratings machine who single-handedly pulled women's college basketball out of the shadows and shoved it under the national spotlight, is now being targeted by a hit piece, but not aimed at her. No, that'd be too predictable. This genius decided to come for her fans. You know, the people who dared to show up, buy jerseys, and maybe, just maybe, be excited. Apparently, that's now a red flag.
Man, this is very sad, very disappointing. It's disgusting that Kaitlyn Clark has to be subjected to this nonsense. And enough's enough. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. She needs to come out and draw the line in the sand. And it would not shock me if at some point, man, Kaitlyn Clark is just done with this.
The article, if you can even call it that, reads like it was typed through gritted teeth and a cracked iPhone screen. The author? Let's just nickname him Captain Cold Take. According to him, if you wear a Clark jersey, cheer her threes, or, God forbid, and buy a ticket, you're officially repping the dark side. I mean, really. What's next? Are we gonna slap an Empire logo on Fever merch? Cue the Darth Vader music every time she drops a bucket.
This is really disappointing from a journalist so closely linked to the Indiana Fever organization. This is really, really disappointing, and it's really concerning in my opinion, because it is painting a 23-year-old on their team who is currently injured.
Meanwhile, Indiana Fever's front office is out here doing absolutely nothing. Like Scooby-Doo level clueless. They're fumbling through this PR disaster like they just uncovered a ghost behind a vending machine. The question of why are Clark fans mad shouldn't need a detective. Maybe because the most electrifying rookie in WNBA history is being tossed into a league that officiates like it's run by salty gym teachers with a grudge? Let's not even sugarcoat it.
The ignorance is loud here, folks. They're only there for Clark. Boy, you stepped in it. But that dark side can easily seep into the team. The Kaitlyn Clark fans, the dark side. Because they're very passionate about a player, and yes, they've put their money where their mouth is. So these people, these fans, feel invested.
The WNBA is fumbling this bag like it's covered in butter. The woman dropped 40-point triple-doubles in college like they were business cards. And now, she's stuck in a system where the refs act like they got their training from TikTok beefs and passive-aggressive Reddit threads. It's pettiness in stripes. Back in the NCAA, they rolled out the red carpet. Kaitlyn was the star, the moment. Now, it's like she got transferred to some Mean Girls alternate universe.
Indiana Fever reporter Scott Agnes has decided that now would be the time, now that the Fever have won a few games, now would be the time to attack Kaitlyn Clark fans. while, of course, and I'm not even going to go through because some of them are really nasty.
NCAA was the cool counselor cheering her on. The WNBA, it's Regina George with a whistle, asking, why are you so obsessed with being elite? So we went from game of the week to, maybe throw her in the weekend lineup if no one else is available, because obviously putting your most bankable star front and center is a terrible business plan, right? Makes perfect sense if you're trying to fail. But let's circle back to our main character, this reporter, a man so allergic to accountability, he probably needs an EpiPen every time someone says journalistic integrity.
Nasty, nasty. If y'all don't know who Scott Agnes is, he's a guy that's he's very close to the team. He gets a lot of access. He's in the practices. He's interviewing the players at practice. He's interviewing the players pre-game, post-game. He is very close with the team and has a lot of access to the players and the team.
He's not just reporting anymore. Oh no, he's out here delivering life lessons. According to him, if you dare to support Kaitlyn Clark, congratulations. You're now officially toxic. Not because you're yelling at refs or starting fights, but because you exist. That's it. That's the offense. It's journalism so delusional, you'd think he got his press pass from the bottom of a cereal box.
But yesterday, they also announced the skills competition for the WNBA All-Star team. And she didn't make that either. So you argued she wasn't good for the Olympics. Your argument, though I don't buy it, but it was your argument, women's basketball, that she would be a distraction. So isn't the perfect place to put her in the skills competition?
And when people called him out for ignoring the straight-up assaults Clark's taken on the court, this dude pivoted so fast he nearly invented a new yoga pose. But of course, facts are optional when you're rage riding from your underground lair of resentment. Now he wants to play victim? Please. This man claims he's endured so much hate. Really? Because last time we checked, Kaitlyn Clark's the one eating elbows, getting leveled on layups, and catching shade from every direction, all while answering press questions like she's giving a TED Talk on grace under pressure.
Imagine Scott Agnes writing an article about the Reese's Pieces and all their negative vitriol, shout out to L. Duncan, that's been targeted to Kaitlyn Clark. Imagine the backlash he would receive. But what's the safe way out? What's the safest way to big up the Indiana Fever? Well, you tear down Kaitlyn Clark's fans.
Meanwhile, this reporter melts down anytime someone in the comments says, hey, maybe don't ignore reality. The wildest part? This guy has never, and we mean never, spoken up when Clark got shoved, smacked, or fouled like someone was trying to exorcise a demon. Not a single tweet. But suddenly, he's got 1,200 words locked and loaded on how her fans are the real issue. Let's talk about those fans for a second. The way he rants about them, you'd think they stormed the league office with pitchforks. He's doing so many rhetorical backflips, we're shocked Auntie Anne's hasn't sent a cease and desist. Anytime someone tries to actually talk hoops, he dodges like he's in a rom-com avoiding emotional vulnerability. Forget the foul. Let's lecture the fan who noticed it. And what's even sadder? This whole thing has turned into a jealous little ecosystem. The WNBA has been begging for attention for decades. Then Kaitlyn Clark shows up, boom. Ticket sales explode, merch sites crash, networks start caring, and suddenly, that's the problem. Her biggest crime is what? Being too good? Success finally shows up at the door, and these people want to slam it shut. This entire saga is giving serious, lazy coworker meltdown energy. You know the type. Doesn't do squat, then throws a fit when someone else actually gets rewarded. Only this ain't an office drama with awkward break room standoffs. Nope, it's elbows, ejections, and one seriously pressed man armed with a WordPress login and way too much time.
By off social media, do you mean that they don't read the notifications? Because they're all on social media, except for maybe Kaitlyn Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. You want me to believe, Brianna Turner's always on social media. You want me to believe that these players who are so addicted to the drama, who are so addicted to the outside noise, have gone off social media? Stop gaslighting us. We don't believe you. You need more people. We don't believe you. You need more people.
And while we're handing out gold stars for obvious statements, let's talk about the new favorite line of deflection. She's not the only rookie. Oh, wow. Earth-shattering insight. Yes, we're aware other rookies exist. Yes, some of them are incredible. But here's the catch. You rock a Kaitlyn Clark jersey these days, and suddenly you're a cult leader with a target on your back. You so much as clap too loud, and you're public enemy number one. Now here's the twisted part. The very people ranting 24/7 about how annoying her fan base is? Yeah, they owe their entire careers to her name being searchable. Let's be real. If Kaitlyn Clark never entered the league, half these hot take artists would be tweeting about regional pickleball tournaments and giving 5-star Yelp reviews to Waffle House hash browns. This dude in particular, he built his entire brand around not supporting her. He's the self-appointed president of the Anti-Clark fan club. His whole shtick is yelling into the algorithm about how overrated she is, then gaslighting anyone who points out the obvious. She's not just great, she's generational. Let's keep it real. If this league ran on professionalism instead of politics, if calls were made based on plays instead of player reputations, Kaitlyn Clark would be in the MVP conversation right now. Instead, she's out here dodging defenders like she's reenacting Gladiator while the refs sip chamomile and pretend they didn't see the takedown. And here's the kicker. Even when she handles all of it, the fouls, the hate, the media circus, with poise, humility, and class, they still spin that into a flaw. Why doesn't she clap back? Why is she so quiet? Maybe, just maybe, it's because she knows she's already under a microscope the size of a stadium jumbotron. She doesn't need to feed the trolls, especially the ones who haven't watched a full, unbiased game since the days of flip phones. Let's not forget, we're talking about a woman who brought millions in value to a league that, not long ago, couldn't even sell out the nacho stand. She made people care. She made women's basketball national news. And the response from certain corners of the media? You're cheering too loud? Please stop liking her so much. Seriously? It'd be hilarious if it wasn't so deeply embarrassing. Kaitlyn Clark didn't just boost the WNBA, she turned it into a cultural phenomenon. ESPN runs more stories on her than some presidential candidates. Opposing crowds cheer her three-pointers. Entire cities get economic bumps when the Fever roll through. But sure, let's blame the fans. Not the flying elbows, not the missed calls, not the league's complete failure to protect their most valuable player. Yeah, makes total sense. Oh no, it's not the clown-level officiating that makes soccer refs look like Supreme Court justices. Nope. The real menace to the league? Fans, buying shirts, filling seats, creating sold-out crowds like it's a playoff concert tour. If that's the so-called dark side, hand me a lightsaber and crank the John Williams theme, because this force is bringing in cash, growing the game, and giving a whole generation of girls a reason to believe they belong on that court. And while that momentum builds, our favorite reporter gets to stay comfy in his little fortress of irrelevance, pounding his keyboard as the very sport he claims to love finally blows up, just not the way he imagined. 1 second, Clark is slicing through defenders, like Moses clearing the Red Sea. Next second, she's called for a travel so ridiculous her grandma would have laughed and said, "Come on now." Meanwhile, her opponents are out here throwing bows like they're in a mosh pit, and it's crickets, no whistles, no reviews. It's like these refs are auditioning for America's funniest home whistleblowers and nailing the part. And let's not forget the all-new Kaitlyn-specific foul calls. Drive to the rim? Flagrant. Hit a three? Technical. Blink on defense? Better review it. At this point, you'd get a more fair ruling from a toddler fighting over a booster seat. The rulebook? Nah. It's a choose-your-own-adventure novel where every path leads to painting Kaitlyn as the villain. Get fouled? Rewind it 10 times, slap on dramatic music, and zoom in like she just committed a felony. Smile after a bucket? Slow it down, darken the filter, play Vader's theme. The narrative writes itself, and badly. But here's the plot twist nobody's ready for. Kaitlyn Clark doesn't break. She takes every cheap shot, every garbage call, every viral microaggression, and she packs it up like it's a holiday gift. Shakes her head, jog back. No theatrics, no meltdown. Just cold-blooded numbers that make your calculator question its career choices. And us fans, we're locked in. Because supporting greatness isn't optional, it's automatic. Meanwhile, our bitter blogger's probably home right now, polishing his little "I told you so" trophy, whispering into the void while Kaitlyn's out there being the WNBA's MVP in every way but the box score. He thinks we're the problem? Nah, bro. You're the comedic side dish. The uninvited Thanksgiving uncle who still thinks gravy is part of a government plot. Stick around, because in this final act, we're lighting this entire farce on fire and dropping the only truth that matters. In sports, just like in life, you don't choose the hero chooses you. And this one, she already did. If you're as done with the double standards as we are, smash that like, sound off in the comments, and hit subscribe, because the real story, it's only just getting started.